What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of The Real and the Rare. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel, being joined by this hooligan next to me, Mr. Lex Ludlow. Always a pleasure catching up with you, my friend. Appreciate the time this afternoon, as always, man.
It's always good to be on here, brother. One of my favorite people to do interviews with, I'd say.
Well, I take the appreciation. I see you out there. I've seen a couple of your clips from some of the other interviews you've done over the last few weeks. So I'll take my blessings where I get them. So,
for sure, we'll definitely get you a couple clips.
Oh yeah, listen. We'll definitely get a couple out of this one. We're always going to have some fun. So, lots of stuff going on in the combat sports world. Obviously, first and foremost, I want to touch on your last fight, right? Obviously, was the debut for BKFC down there at the arena. You had the fight. We talked about it on here beforehand. You called out Fedor, obviously. It's one of the things you do. You're always a knucklehead on the mic. I'll just say it that way. How excited were you to kind of get that first one out the way? And did anything Connor do surprise you? Like were you happy with the result? How you performed? Like how did everything play out, at least in your mind?
Let me ask you this: how do you think I did?
I mean, listen. When bare knuckle comes out, like you always say. Well, I always say styles makes fights, man. I'm not. It's not like you had a crazy knockout and it was something that. But you didn't look terrible. You know what I mean? It's like when you see some of these guys looking like, listen, this guy ain't cut out for bare knuckle. You're in the pocket, dude. You know what I mean? So. Win, lose, or draw, which you got a split decision win. As a guy who bigger than you, So listen, take that W, put it in the bank. Now we're gonna move on to the next one. Let's show us the improvement.
Did you think that it was the split decision win?
You already know how I feel about fucking judging, man.
That was bad. That was a bad call, dude.
You already know how I feel about this judging, man. It's one of the things that I think that combat sports as a whole, regardless if we're talking MMA, boxing, bare knuckle. The only thing I do like about bare knuckle is we talked about this, man. Open scoring, like you know where you're standing,
right?
So that's probably the only thing that you were probably like sitting on the school stool getting ready to go in that final round, and probably looking up like, what the hell are these guys looking at?
I didn't understand. Well, one, I don't know I didn't know the rules. Like, I'm just fighting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I still don't really know the rules. I'm just learning as I'm going. I'll tell you this. So, like, I'll walk you through the whole thing. Like, so I never watched any bare knuckle fight ever until I watched my opponent fight. Like his tapes and stuff. So like my first experience of like bare knuckle was watching in the back on a little TV monitor, like a little like 35-inch TV monitor. I'm like spitting on myself. Like a 35-inch TV. That was disgusting. 35-inch TV monitor. And I was the first fight of the main card, and there was 4 prelim fights, and they all ended within a minute, like under a minute. Like, I just literally watched, like, dude walk out, knocked out. Dude walk out, knocked out. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, wow, this is insane. And, that's my first impression of it. So I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, that's going to be me in, like, about a minute and a half. Like, I'm about to go walk out there and just get kadooshed right in the face and fall over. But I don't know. I got this real good thing about me where I can just hit a switch and all my nerves and everything shuts off, and it's something I've been doing last like 4 fights now. So it felt good, I guess. Like everything that everybody said to me was wrong about it. Because I was like calling fighters and trying to get their opinions about it. And like, does it hurt your hand? Does it, like every time you punch them, do you feel it? Like what, like if you hit him in the body, does it hurt? Like all wrong, dude. I didn't feel anything in there. Even when I got hit, I didn't feel anything. So,
what about afterwards, after the adrenaline dump?
my left hand was kind of bothering me. I was sick that whole week too. That's another thing. I had the flu that whole. Getting a little cold right now. I had a little, but I had a stomach flu that week, and I was like nonstop throwing up and stuff. So I was pretty sick, but just my left hand, just my hands, they were just swollen a little bit. But he only hit me, dude. If you really go back and watch it, like he hit me, a decent amount of times, but he only hit me good, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. Like I know for a fact he hit me at least almost one time around. That like good, like where like I'd be like I wasn't rocked or anything, but like where he would land like flush on my chin or something like that, like per round. That was it. There was no way that was a split decision win. That dude was blinder than ever. I dominated that fight. I took the 4th round off. I was a little tired. Took the 4th round off. The 5th round, I was like, dude, I'm so far ahead. This don't even make any sense. Why am I even here right now? I'm just gonna take this round off too. Little did I know, other dude had other plans. He decided to bet a little money on McKenna, try to get him that win, hoping the other dudes were betting money on McKenna. But little did he know, they were rooting for the bad guy.
Well, I mean, you got the first one done and out the way. We're gonna wait a little bit to kind of go back to some bare knuckle. I want to go through some of these current topics that are going on in the combat sports world. I already said it. We're going to be making a little bit of fun of Jake Paul tonight. He made the comment after his fight that he's going to sue anyone that claims his fights are staged. His actual comment was, after years of letting it slide, haters being hated, I've asked my team to vigorously go after anyone who makes up lies about my boxing career. Expect to be served, you pigs.
Yeah. Nobody even watched it. Only 38 people bought it.
No, I think that I think I heard and seen that, but I also heard they did 500K buys. I don't know how that was, but
I read on some website that they did like 38 buys.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that graphic, but I didn't pull. Listen, if he did 38 buys and they're claiming 500K, I could listen. I didn't pay any attention to that. I think some of the other stuff that happened afterwards or kind of was more prevalent. The whole thing that's going on with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. right now is kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird. He really did deport him.
Like, dude. First off, how does he get sanctioned for a fight? Isn't like there's certain things for the boxer's license that when you obviously you have to renew it every year and stuff like that. But and there's little parts in there that you have to have.
That's a good point. Yeah, because they do ask you. I gotta fill mine out. It's due by the 11th. I gotta do it by tomorrow.
You gotta get on that, brother.
I'm pretty sure they asked citizenship and stuff.
Yeah, I think, but also we know there's a lot of athletes who stay in the States, but they still currently reside, Mexico, Australia, somewhere in the UK. You see that where their work visas are all up to date. So I think that I don't think there's anything about warrants or anything like that. So I know there from some of the reports that he apparently had a warrant in Mexico. All the other accusations I'm not even going to bring up because at this point in time it's freaking accusations. If he had a warrant in Mexico, cool. He had a warrant in Mexico. Then how did you let him fight? And then all of a sudden, before everything's all said and done, then you're having ICE take him away. That's my kind of the timing of it is weird to me. That's what that was my issue with the whole thing. If he had issues going on, then the fight should have been nixed and whatever. But I think just the timing.
They even ask you. In your license, they ask you have you been arrested? You're are you currently under any probations? And they actually do ask you that stuff. So that's a good point, brother. I somebody needs to dive deep into that.
Oh, I'm sure some of the nerds are already getting into it, and obviously, I'm not on the political fence on anything. You know, if you don't belong here, you don't belong here. If you're not contributing to this country, you don't belong here.
Right.
You know, but like as far as like somebody like dude, his dad has been a part of the boxing community for what 30, 40 years. Like, come on, man. Like, there's ways to kind of get things situated, find out X, Y, and Z without having him taken away and then have being detained and things of that nature. That's like I said, the timing of it's weird. But then let's talk about the actual fight, right? The actual fight about it. I thought this was weird. He was talking about not people want to talk about it's not fixed. How does Chavez only throw barely 20 punches in the first 3 rounds?
Yeah, what the hell?
Like, those numbers are off. And then he's still, I think by the 8th round, he finally gets into like the 25, 30 some odd range towards the end of the fight. Where
how do these guys only land this many punches too?
it's this graphic speaks a lot of volumes. I mean, obviously Jake almost throws. Jake almost threw 500 punches, but only landed 140 punches. Come on.
To his 154.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
This is why people feel the way they feel about it.
7 punches in the 6th round. 6th round. 5 in the 7th. And then he goes up. He's going up a lot in this there. Why would maybe, I don't know. The only defense that he could have is maybe he was saving his cardio for the later rounds. But
yeah, but also
he didn't even throw that much more.
But also, he's not a true cruiserweight. So why are you waiting to the later rounds to kind of pick it up? You know what I mean? And we know, like, it's been a while since he won a notable fight. There's a lot of things that goes into this. Now,
well, it's clear that we're gonna get sued. It's clear that it's clear that he likes advantages. Like, yeah, I mean,
listen, me and you talked about this before. Like,
he's very insecure.
And we're gonna get into it a little bit more in a second because of what happened after all this. So, like, listen, he's, in my opinion, until he shows me anything different, he's a weight bully. He picks guys that are a weight class or 2 under him. This is only his 2nd or 3rd fight against an actual boxer, right? So it's one of these things where it's like there's a lot of stuff, the reason why people feel the way they do about it. And then the WBA goes and ranks him.
I saw that today.
Now, obviously, now it's going to be reviewed, right? The WBA came and made a conversation that that they're going to review it. I think they have like some kind of like internal get together in between. I think it's like July
16th,
July 16th to the 18th, right? But here's the bigger thing, right? All right, so he gets ranked. More BS, right? WBA is now going to investigate their ranking of him, right? But here's the other thing, man. Like, the guy they took off the list is 20-0. He's 20-0, and they took him. They gave Jake his spot.
Sorry, I'm just reading them.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. I mean, it's beyond me. Like, this is why a lot of people feel the way they feel about it. This is why people say that boxing is dead, because you have a guy that's been working his fucking ass off, right?
Well, there's only one way to settle this, Steven.
Yeah, man. Like, listen, I know he's calling out the champions, and if that happens, I'll lose. I'm tuning out, completely tuning out, because then there is no rhyme or reason to it anymore. That a guy who hasn't, listen, we talked about this. The way he's going about learning boxing and learning how to fight against the type of guys that he's learning for, bravo. I'll give him that aspect of it, regardless of me and you arguing the legitimacy of it or not. Is it a carnival act or not? that's an argument for another day. But the fact that who he is, where he came from, where he is now, and how he's learning on the fly, I'm not going to take that part of it away from him. This is nonsense.
Right.
Him being ranked by the WBA. I don't, and we all know what this is. This is a chance for them to kind of get a part of that money grab. That's what this is really all about when everything's said and done. But doing that to that boxer, he's never lost a fight, and having a guy like Jake jump him in the rankings with him not fighting and actually either someone ranked in the top 20 in the WBA cruiserweight, I have a problem with.
They should just fight.
He should like, I know he's calling out some of the bigger names in the weight class. He's calling out Anthony Joshua. He's calling like
Anthony Joshua.
You got to beat someone that's ranked underneath the 10 to 14, 15 now. In my opinion, knock out, stop a couple of them dudes, climb the rankings of current cruiserweights that are active.
Steve, he's not beating Anthony Joshua ever.
I know he's not. Someone says like someone got asked about this. It was one of the other like boxing guys, and they were just like, if he wants to like end his life, end his boxing career, then go ahead for that. But like what does it even do for some of these guys? Like, you're like knocking out Jake Paul ain't going to give them any more legitimacy. Obviously, you're probably going to get a lot more publicity for it. But like, what does it do for any of these guys? What is it going to do to knock out Jake Paul, who a lot of people kind of feel, he's a sideshow act?
Well, the one thing I don't really like about him too much, brother, is that he picks the easier fights. I don't mind the calling out the champions and stuff like that. That don't bother me.
Yeah,
because
listen, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, he gets it. You get it. That's what I meant to say. He's trying to make a fight. Hey, I do the same thing. I'm trying to fight Fedor over here. But listen, like, what I don't like about him is like, it seems like sometimes he can't make up his mind. Like, he signs with PFL. He never did the MMA fight. I really want to see how he does in MMA. Like, I really am intrigued by that. He should fight the MMA fight, but I guess it's because he's so obsessed with boxing right now. He wants to box, but I don't really know much about boxing, dude. He's a cruiserweight. I don't know why he would fight Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua was like 6'7".
Yeah, but I'm with you. Like, I think he should fight someone like the guy we were just had the graphic up, Craig Parker. I mean, dude, like, could you imagine that, waking up, you're the 14th ranked cruiserweight in the world, and all of a sudden you're 15th, and that's the guy they put in front of you? Yeah,
I'd be a little annoyed. But I would just say, hey, like let's just fight.
Like, let's have you actually earn that ranking, and then we can come back and come to the table. But
his biggest win is like Anderson Silva.
Yeah, Anderson or Nate, but Nate didn't even look good in that fight.
His biggest win is Ben Askren.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me right into the next one about Ben. So,
I like that.
For people who don't know, obviously, Amy put it out there that the lung transplant was successful, and you had a lot of guys reaching out. You had guys like Andrew Tate reaching out, was trying to ask to. The rumor was Jake Paul himself put up $500K towards the fund to make sure that it happened. But the fact that one, the insurance company turned down Ben, and two, that friends, family, etc., had to reach out to the fight community to make this happen is freaking sickening.
Well, that's insurance for you, brother.
Uh-huh.
We'll approve your ACL surgery, but we will never approve your life or death situation. I wonder.
Think
I
about
wonder
this
why.
for a second, like
I wonder why they denied it though.
because of how much money it was. Like yeah, like you had Jake donate $500K, but it was the rumor was with everything all said and done, it was going to be closer to like a $1.5 to $2 million to kind of
I like how
all the
Jake
expense,
called
the aftercare, all that other stuff. That it was going to get close to like $2 million, and they didn't want nothing to do with that.
I like how Jake Paul called out Dana White about that.
All right, now here's my thing. Here's my thing about that. We all know you guys don't have actual like retirement funds, medical insurance when it comes to like the higher level athletes, UFC fighters, things like that.
Yeah.
What did Dana owe Ben for? I mean, Jake's just doing it to kind of poke at Dana like he always does.
Right.
But like at the end of the day, like how do we know that Dana didn't privately give him some, make a donation or things of that nature? And Jake is just doing it for the headlines. We know that both Andrew Tate and Jake have donated because they publicly said so. But how do we know that Dana didn't privately donate something? Because he's been known to do that for some of his guys. I don't know if he considers Ben one of his guys, and that's something that he actually did. But like, we're gonna take Jake's word on it now.
I don't know what to say about that, dude. I mean, I've heard some good things about Dana White. Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like he looks out for his guys. That's what I'm saying. And like, I still believe to this day, we're probably sitting here talking to somebody like a Stephan Bonner if him and Stephan didn't have a falling out when he retired and left the company. Like you see how Forrest got grandfathered in with all kinds of like little side things that he does with the UFC, right?
Dude runs he runs
the PI center.
Yeah.
So, like, you're telling me that they couldn't have found something like that for Stephan, and that he didn't go down the hole that he's went, and even more so, we're seeing it right now with what's going on with BJ Penn. Now, BJ Penn was absolutely a Dana guy. Why isn't he reaching out to Dana? Why isn't Dana reaching out to him to see what he can do to put him in a better place?
Some stuff might have happened behind the scenes.
Like it's like we already know, guys like Rampage Jackson that they didn't get along,
right?
And he's made it public like why they haven't got along, what was his problem, what was his issue, and he just felt like Dana was taking money out of his pocket. Might not been Dana specifically, but like I get it, but it's one of these things where it's like there's more to it. But, like, is all that have to fall on the promoter?
I mean, it's kind of like if you're working at, like, TJ Maxx and then you get cancer. Are you really going to expect TJ Maxx to cover your bill?
Yeah, it's kind of like that's how I feel about it. But, like, there is the human side of it. And I think that, like, personal relationships in combat sports are what's going to help the athlete if something ever does happen to him. And
right.
You guys need to have like a rainy day fund on top of a medical emergency fund, on top of this, on top of what you guys have to do to compete. So it's like you guys are in this never ending thing, like where you have to it's going from fight to fight to make sure you guys have what you need. It's not
right.
You're not getting NFL money. You're not getting Major League Baseball money. Oh, look what we just seen in basketball. The kid from the Oklahoma City Thunder just signed a 4-year, $285 million contract, and he's 26 years old.
Thanks for rubbing it in, dude.
Well, listen, man. God didn't bless us with that athletic ability to be able to get that basketball money. Baseball is even harder of a sport, but them guys get crazy money too.
Yeah, they all get good money.
But
all those athletes.
Does that also in turn that they have great medical care and medical insurance? I don't know. I haven't seen one of those contracts. We know the NFL, once you're after 5 years, you're done because Warren Sapp famously put it out there that after he got his golden jacket, medical insurance was cut off.
The UFL does that, and the GFL did it before the GFL decided to be weird and screwy. And what a waste of time.
Man, yeah. Nothing but a scam. Nothing but a scam, my friend.
We should have known right from their horrible logo. Remember how like crappy the logo looked? It looked like some dude in his mom's basement made it. Crappy design.
Now, we got a couple more combat sports movies coming out. Obviously, the Smashing Machines come out, and people were asking Kerr about it, and he basically said, for if people see the movie and if it's something that could save somebody's life, for him it would actually mean something.
Wow, what a guy!
I'm looking forward to the Smashing Machine coming out, and I just heard a rumor that Sydney Sweeney's going to be depicting Chrissy Martin, the former boxer.
I'll be watching that
one. And for people who don't know or are snickering at that, Sydney was an actual training partner of Ronda Rousey at one point in time. Obviously, they've taken completely different paths, and training partner versus actual fighter is a whole nother argument, whole nother discussion. But she's
zero respect for Ronda Rousey.
What's that?
Zero respect for Ronda Rousey.
Oh, what's your beef with Ronda? Let me hear this one.
Dude, she's just nothing but a complaining, arrogant, cocky.
Is this because of the wrestling stuff? I need to know. Is it because of the wrestling stuff, or is it because of her how everything ended in her MMA career? What's your beef?
Well, it all started on The Ultimate Fighter with her and Misha Tate, and you get to see the real side of her, and then. They kind of try to hide it for a little while, but it was hard to hide. Like she loses an MMA fight, and then she goes on Oprah and talks about how she wanted to kill herself. Like, come on, dude, you have millions of dollars in the bank account. You ain't thinking about killing yourself, especially when you're talking to Oprah Winfrey. Okay?
Do you remember watching the first like embedded series behind the scenes stuff when they were talking to her mom?
I kind of have a visual of what you're going to say, but remind me.
So when she lost nationals the first time, before she lost the bid to go to the Olympics the first time, not when she won her medal, right? That she literally did basically ran away and disappeared for 3 years until the next Olympics came, and she did get she was basically running around the world. Her mom had no clue where she was. It's a tough thing. I'm not sitting there saying she was right for doing it, but how it is. Everyone deals with losses in a different way. Some people kind of we all deal with that personal letdown traumas in our own way. Is that we all deal with it? Go ahead.
We also all go through something.
Yeah,
and not everything needs to be talked about publicly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And the way she acted on The Ultimate Fighter. She wins the rock climbing competition on the whole way down. She's giving Misha Tate the finger. What's even the real beef between you two? Because you guys fought each other. That was it. And then she goes to WWE, and she makes herself look like such an idiot there. That's the one thing.
That's where I kind of felt that this is coming from with you, is that not only that she had those qualities, but she also went to the WWE and didn't perform great, didn't look great, didn't look good in ring, didn't look good on the mic, any of it.
Okay, there we go. Here I am, a lot brighter now. Here's my thing with pro wrestling, right? And it's not going off topic, but it's the same thing with CM Punk, right? You got a guy, got a 70-year-old man who talking about Vince. Okay, I know a lot about Vince. I don't know him personally, but I've heard a lot of stories about him to where I have an idea of this guy. Okay, it's his company, it's his sandbox. Okay, and these people are paid millions of dollars, life-changing amount of money. Okay, to pretend to fight. Okay. And they just have weird issues about it. She has really weird issues about it. Just shut up and go out there and do what you're told. It's not that hard. complainer, man. I can't stand that girl, dude, at all.
Yeah,
I don't like her.
There's just some athletes that are always going to run you the wrong way. You're not always going to want to get behind and support and like.
Did you watch CM Punk's interview media scrum? Did you ever watch for AEW? Did you ever watch that?
No.
Well, you should watch it because it shows like who he really is. He is the biggest complainer you would ever see in your life. Matt Riddle said last week that he's got buddies in the WWE and they can't stand him. All he does is complains all the time. Could you imagine having like a creative idea and you got to present it to this guy? Like he's in a complaint.
Oh yeah, like because in wrestling there, it's like you have to have conversations with the other guy or girl you're going to go with, and you guys could basically have to run through your ideas for the match, for the mic stuff, for the build up stuff. There's a lot of moving parts when we're talking about what goes on in wrestling. So I get it, like trying to pitch an idea to Phil, and he's just like, "Oh, that's fucking terrible. What are you talking about? Are you an idiot?"
Yeah,
like,
and that's what he does.
Guys, right? That's
what he does all the time, dude. I'm surprised Vince McMahon didn't kill himself working with that guy. I'm a big Vince fan, by the way. He's innocent, dude.
You think Vince is innocent, really?
No, he really is. I mean, if you go and you read back, when it first came out, dude, text messages leaked. He literally said, "Can Johnny F you on Tuesday?" And she literally says, "Not this week, honey. I'm a little tired, but most likely next week." That's more than enough consent. I don't know what else you're gonna say there. That's way more than enough consent. Now,
it's also like that's coming from your boss, and like a lot of these things, it's like he's being. All right,
I get
he's innocent, but morally, like to sit there and do that to somebody you're employing that you control this person's future, it's kind of crossing into.
Dude, she was a plant. She 1000% was a plant. She got hired in like 2019 randomly. Gets basically thrown at Vince, right? And then by 2022, he's out. He was a plant. She was a plant, dude. And the two people that voted against Vince McMahon at the board meeting was Stephanie and Vince. Or no, Stephanie and Triple H, sorry.
And we all know that for the longest time, he tried to keep Hunter away from Stephanie.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, he just tried to buy BKFC.
Yeah, I heard about that. I knew this was going to come up at some point in time.
Yeah, dude, I got it.
Here's my thing. He has enough money where he could actually buy, like, let's sit there and say he partners with the other promotion, with BYB, with Mike V and Dada, and he puts some serious money into that to kind of be the new face over there. That'd be a problem.
Dude, do you watch wrestling or do you keep up with it or no?
I mean, dude, my son is always in my ear about like he was talking to me like, oh, there was two different special money in the bank stuff this weekend. Like he's always in my ear. Like I took him to WrestleMania to make sure he had his experience, but like I guess like I'm the old coggard in that sense. Like, dude, I just missed the Attitude Era. I miss those guys, but not to sit there and say I don't think these guys that are amazing that that are doing their thing now like aren't. I'm not. I guess I don't have that attachment to them like I did. Your Stone Colds, your
right. I don't watch it. I don't watch it anymore myself, but I read like the backstage stuff all the time. So, do you know what the TNA wrestling is?
Yeah, I know what TNA is.
WWE partnered with them recently, and I read the main reason WWE partnered with them was because they were afraid Vince was going to try to buy it.
Hey, listen, they're trying to do anything to keep him away from something that could compete with them, and
it's smart too.
I think it speaks volumes, like to a lot of things.
he's still. I read that he's like still respected by like a lot of like the big name wrestlers, like even today.
Yeah,
Like
I'm sure he
like
is.
he could convince them to switch and jump and all that stuff. Listen, dude, he just needs to get proven innocent, and I would just be happy if they just put him in the Hall of Fame. Like he doesn't need to. I don't think he should be running the company anymore. Like at least not the day to day.
But at
Like
least like put like run some stuff by him on the creative side of things because you can't take that away from Vince. He
right.
was he knew what strings to pull and when not. Didn't say he had all the answers, and we know he didn't have all the answers. Sometimes he was dead wrong about wrestlers, ideas, etc. But he was, if we're talking like baseball, he was hitting home runs like 7 out of 10 times. You know what I mean?
Right. Dude, I'm on the when do I weigh in? On the 24th. I weigh in on the 24th. That's the first thing I'm going to ask Dave. I'm going to walk up to Dave. I'll be like, what was that like? What was that like being in the room with that? Because, dude, there's some crazy stories out there about him, dude. And you know, after this fight, we might get a exclusive multi-fight deal. And I want in my contract that I get to meet Vince McMahon.
And
I want to
speaking
meet
of the
him.
wildness and craziness of combat sports, fucking John Jones, man. He was retired for 13 days and has officially re-entered the testing pool. And literally
Right.
right after this tweet came this. Because obviously the big announcement over the last few weeks was
Trump announced
Mr.
it.
Orange, Donald Trump, vowed that he's going to hold a UFC event at the White House for the 250th anniversary of the United States. What are your thoughts on this fucking craziness, brother?
Let me see that visual again of the octagon.
Oh, I literally just deleted it. Hold on,
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
I can
it.
pull it up.
I don't know, dude. Don't they have like a stadium out there? Like, why can't they just do that? Like, I don't really understand the. I don't understand. I don't understand.
That's the perks that come with Dana and Donald being good friends. I think that's kind of par for the course.
But why is this so popular? Like, why do the players why did they all want to do it?
And listen, the only ones that kind of really said anything about the only fighters that I've seen that have said something openly wanting to be on this card was obviously Conor McGregor was the first person to go out there, and he sent Dana a couple voice notes of that screenshot, and he just said he loves it. And obviously, rumor is that Conor McGregor will probably be a part of that event, and that doesn't surprise me one bit because
I don't think he fights.
that at least gives him a year to physically get ready for it.
I don't think he does.
He's still in the testing pool, and he still has. I think he's supposed to have 3 fights under his contract, but I still think time wise that he still owes them another year.
Okay.
So,
well, they better freaking lock him down because as soon as he gets out, he's fighting bare knuckle. I guarantee you that's a part of that partnership deal.
yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think at some point in time he's going to, just because, dude, he's just that type of dude. Like, I think like he mixes well with bare knuckle, the personality of the fan, the personality that he is. I think that before everything's said and done, I don't know when it'll happen or who it'll end up being against, but I think it's just a matter of time before he winds up getting in the ring and performing for BKFC. I mean, I'm with you. I think it's honestly it has to be in his contract somewhere that he's going to step in there against a partner of his choosing at some point in time.
Probably Jeremy Stevens.
I mean, it would make the most sense. There's backstory there. Like a lot of people were saying Eddie, but I'm pretty sure that was Eddie's swan song, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think sorry, I get sidetracked a lot. Jones, I don't know what's going on, my man. He's the GOAT. He should stay retired. He should never fight Tom Aspinall. I think it was a genius move on his part, unless he's coming back just for a super fight against somebody else. He's not the champion.
Some of the rumors, like when you see some of the people going through it on social media, like they, it's this one actually, is saying like some of the potential matchups we should see if it actually does go, we're gonna have a UFC fight, next 4th of July at the White House. First person on that list was Tom Jones, or Tom Aspinall and John Jones.
Well, dude, I mean that kind of makes sense because it's America's birthday, dude.
Yeah. Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. I don't know if you can hold off a year to see that fight. I think we're gonna see that before the end of this year. I think when we get into that late December card, that's probably where we'll see them fight. But
why do we need to see Strickland and Izzy fight again?
This was just somebody's, I guess. I thought the funnier one was the odds to who we would see. It would be Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, O'Malley, Gagey, Brady. I hope Sean does get on this card. Just the Philadelphia pride being there, 4th of July. I think that would make sense. John Jones, obviously. Connor, obviously. My thinking of this one too is that it's like such a one-off, one-time experience. Who else from our fighters past who could you see wanting to get involved in this? I know, I think we are literally, this is the anniversary of Anderson Silva being knocked out by Chris Weidman. Happened in 2013 today, right? Wouldn't you love to see Chris Weidman on that card too?
There's only one person I would want to see on that card. He's undefeated. He's undisputed. He's never lost a round. Chael Sonnen, my friend. Really get more American than Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, see that, but I just gave you a matchup that could happen. Chris Weidman, Chael Sonnen.
I think realistically, Chael's too old. Chris Weidman, dude, he's. When he first came out, dude, and I was a big fan. Like when he knocked out Mark Munoz, I was like, damn, dude, this guy can give like Anderson a little bit of trouble. I didn't expect him to win, but
that's because Anderson Silva put himself in a position to lose.
If there was any two fighters,
no one thought that second fight would have happened the way it did. No one thought that.
If there's any matchup that I always wanted to see that could happen on that card, it literally would be Weidman versus Bisping.
I don't think you can get it now. And then now that it's also known that Mike has one eye, I don't know if he can get him sanctioned either.
I always wanted to see that fight. I really think Bisping would have surprised a lot of people. Bisping's good, dude.
He is. I still feel like he lost the Anderson Silva fight. I don't want to hear any ifs, ands, or buts about that.
I watched that fight, dude. I hated Anderson Silva growing up.
I didn't hate him. I respected him. I just enjoyed watching him fight, and I kind of felt that Michael got a gift that night.
It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
Michael still got a gift that night.
Right.
He can argue it all he wants, on his podcast, on other fighters' podcasts, all he wants. I mean, I wasn't the biggest Michael Bisping fan. I mean, hell, dude. I remember cheering when Dan knocked him out.
I cheered for that too. Dan Henderson's like my top 5 favorite fighters of all time.
Now, that being said, like Michael won me over in the end. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's like I started becoming a real fan of his, I'd say, when I never hated him, but like it was just like it was kind of like I don't know, like because he was a point fighter basically. Like he got some stoppages, but it was like it's Michael Bisping. Like he's not like.
I guess my thing is because like how he always used to fuck with Hamill. It's like, dude, why are you picking on the deaf dude? You're just an arrogant SOB. But he was. There's an arrogance to all fighters.
I forgot about that. That's actually pretty funny.
So, like, I mean, I get some of it, but like in the end, like Bisping did finally like win me over. Not his personality, just the fighter that was in the cage.
Right? Yeah.
I never thought like he was this great character that everyone can kind of get behind, but just the respect of just watching him develop, and then towards the end, getting the belt over George is that's a king of the hill moment, ain't it? Is it not?
It was a great fight. My favorite fight though of his was Bisping versus Dan Henderson too. I was cheering for fucking Henderson like crazy, dude. That was a crazy fight because like Bisping's down, you think he's out, then he gets back up. Henderson rocks him. I loved Henderson like at that part of his career because he was like so old, but he had like,
he had a rocket launcher for a right hand.
Dude, and if he rocked you, like it was over. But like if you could like survive like the onslaught, like he would just
basically if you could circle so his power can't hurt you. Like it's going to hurt getting hit by him, but not to get put out. Then and you can stop the takedown. Then you could find a way to beat Dan Henderson. But Dan was lethal at heavyweight too. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. He had the most exciting fights like I've ever seen. Like you would just be like, oh man, like Hector Lombard, that's a bad matchup, and then like unconscious, like even when he fought Fedor, dude, get me sitting up a little bit here. I'm getting excited. Even when he fought Fedor, dude, like he friggin' destroyed Fedor. Well, he got rocked, remember? And then he came back, took his back, knocked him out. Great fighter, dude. That he is on the bucket list to meet for sure.
Yeah, so like,
I wonder if he would like it.
We've already talked about this. Your former home hosted Mauricio Shogun Hua today for a seminar. If they ever get Dan to come in, are you paying a ticket to go?
I'm there, dude. Dude, I would friggin' get arrested by the cops just to show up there and get a little autograph by Dan. I feel like Dan would like.
He's definitely. You got me on that one. He's one of those bucket list guys that if he's doing something in the area,
you should get him on a podcast, dude.
Dude, if I could get a hold of him, I would, dude. Like it's not that like I actually got one in the works right now, and I may not excite you any, but I'll announce here tonight. August 11th, Ricky Waters is going to be on. Show is going to air. We're gonna have the interview both me and Ben Troop did with former Eagles Ricky Water August.
Yeah, 11th. I don't even know who that is.
He was a running back for the Eagles in the in the 90s. He was a Super Bowl winning running back with the 49ers, national championship winner with Notre Dame.
Listen, I'm excited for you, but I'm not excited for him.
Listen, I already know like you're not big like unless it's wrestling or fighting, like it doesn't.
Yeah, like I just fall asleep.
Me and you, I know that's what I said. I already knew like it wasn't gonna be a big thing for you, but
well, listen, if it excites, if that makes you happy, dude, and that's like a goal of yours to get, I'm happy for you.
I was like 15, 16 years old. He was like the biggest free agent signing we had at the time. He performed while he was here. He's one of the reasons why, like, I think the culture changed for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, it's I'm excited for us to air it. It should be fun. Hopefully, his manager lets us have him again during the season. Also, hopefully, he gives us some of his other clients too. So, it's gonna be a fun one. It was.
Let's make a deal though, dude. If you ever get Dan Henderson on the show, I
will give you the link, brother. I will give you the link and give you the heads up.
I gotta be on that, dude. I don't care if it's a freaking birthday or I don't care, dude. I'm at a funeral. I'm there, dude. I'm talking. I have a billion questions for Dan. Dan would get so annoyed by me, I feel like, because I was just have questions.
Hey, listen, that's the part of it. Like I was just interviewing Ryan Pearson, and he was talking about like some of his like bucket list guys he looks up to and talk to. He's the co-main event on your fight. He's no, he's the main event. Ryan Pearson.
Oh, he's fighting Dustin. He's fighting my my teammate in a way. He's not my teammate, but we're under the same management company.
Yeah,
Dustin
Ryan lives at a farm out in California, so.
Well, I feel bad for him.
Why? Because he lives off the grid?
Nah, because he lives in California. Who the heck would want to live there? But that's like we got 49 states, dude. California, I don't consider that a state. But listen, good luck to him. Good luck to Dustin. I don't really know much about that guy, Ryan Peterson or whatever his name is. Good luck to you, my friend.
Yeah. But the interview I did before that, the guy was going to be on the event with Orlovsky, and he was like, he's like, dude, I was like, bring an extra pair of gloves, brother. He's like, if I'm in the same locker room with him, I'm probably going to find a way too.
Did you see who they announced for my card?
I mean, I did. Let me pull this up and pull the graphic up for it. Obviously, Patty Sullivan's going to be on it.
I'm on the
you got Sexy Lexi down in there in the corner. Johnny Garbarino is going to be on it, and Dustin and Ryan are going to be the main event as of right now.
Yeah, but they announced a new fight. Did you see it or no?
No, I didn't. Who they announced?
Alessia Sakara.
Oh yeah, Alexia Sakara. I did see that today.
That took me by surprise.
Yeah, he's. We haven't seen. I haven't heard about him. Didn't he get sent to like Bellator for a period of time?
Didn't he get sent? It's like he had no choice here.
Meaning that he was released from his UFC contract and he wound up fighting there.
I know what you meant, but it was just funny the way you said it.
The way I said it, yeah.
You're like, didn't you just get sent to Bellator? Like Dana was like, listen, you're going here. Good luck.
That's what people think when they look at this. Sometimes, like they think
of course,
it's all connected like that.
Oh, of course, but nah, it's not how it works. But I think I would, if I were him, I would have liked Bellator because they were real big in Europe. They were always going to France and Italy and stuff.
Yeah, he's one of the international guys. So yeah.
Yeah. So, but it just took me by surprise because I know they're going to Italy now a lot, and it took me by surprise that they're booking him on Philadelphia, especially for a smaller.
And you just nailed it because you guys just had a big event over in Italy. It wouldn't. I think this is going to be a preemptive. If he wins this, that he'll probably main event Italy, the next Italy card.
He should because he's a big name out there, dude.
Yeah, he is. And that's like, listen, I say a lot, dude. Dave has done so much with this brand in 7 years, just from making the relevancy, getting the sanctioning, but what he's done over the last few internationally. You can't take that work away. What he's done, guys already done Dubai was a big event. I know we're gonna see Russia at some point. Lex is like, get me on a plane. I want Fedor.
Yeah, dude. Where is he at? What did you think about the call? Did we talk about that or no?
No, I mean, we briefly touched on it, but, obviously, you told me about it beforehand that that's what that's what you were going to do. We didn't talk about it on air, but this is the first time we're on air. But I loved it. Obviously, I showed you your friendly hater always had something to say about it.
Diamond?
Yeah.
Him and I DM'd for like 4 hours that night.
Really? Even after the fight, he was still. Jesus Christ.
He couldn't let it go, dude. But I think we're okay now, dude. I think me and him are good now.
I hope so. Like, listen, I know like fight game's weird sometimes. It really is. Like, one minute, you guys are, best of buds, and there sometimes it could be the littlest rift, and it's the biggest blow up, man.
Well, we fought 10 years ago. I think he was. He says he wasn't, but I mean, let's be honest. He was holding a grudge from it from 10 years ago. He felt some type of way that I won, and I'm not even talking trash. Like, it's just like I'm being myself. Like, I feel like
I know you.
But you know what? I talked to him. It took, bro, my phone was blowing up. I had like hundreds and hundreds of notifications, and I wasn't even looking at them. I was just DMing him. I was laying in bed next to my wife, and we got home around like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was on my phone DMing him until like 6 o'clock in the morning. I literally was like writing him at one point, and I was like, "Can I go to bed? I'm tired." I was like, dude, I just got out of a 5-round fight, and I'm tired. I was like, can I go to bed? Are we done yet? And then he would just keep going, and I was just like, all right, like we're gonna keep going. But listen, like, it's all right. It is what it is. You know what I mean? We talked it out. We're good. I haven't heard from him since, but hope he's doing all right.
Yeah, dude. I seen him post a picture of him and Shogun today. That's why I was thinking.
Is that why he brought it up? Yeah.
That's why I think I'm not. Listen, I don't need to bring up something me and you've already discussed. It doesn't need to. We've already discussed it.
You were hoping I was gonna run my mouth about him. Listen.
Listen. If anything, it's the other thing that we talked about is what I'm waiting for us to kind of actually discuss. But like you said, when you're ready to discuss it, me and you will discuss it.
Go ahead. What is it?
You already know what we were talking about some of the stuff you dealt with in your last promotion, how you had to basically, do all the legwork for everything. Like I said, when you're ready, we will have that conversation. It don't have to be now.
Nah, we don't need to talk about that right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you're ready, we'll do it because
what's crazy, like. Because I know you can edit this and whatnot, so like we can.
It's live, so this one I ain't gonna be able to edit. That's why I'm like,
all right. We'll talk about that off air. But like,
see, that's what I'm saying. I know it's not time yet. There'll be a time where we'll have this discussion, but today's not the day. And furthermore, let's get away from that. I'm gonna completely change gears so we don't have to go over this. But we had a lot of weird pullouts in the UFC over the last the whole year. You had one guy gets yanked because he had herpes. You had the unfortunate the weight cutting situation where the one female fighter had a seizure right before the fight. Another guy, he has an ankle monitor, and that's why he can't fight. Mr. Dumas. And then another guy has his back seized up. There's some of those weirdest stuff that I've seen just fight-wise being pulled out. What are some of the weirdest pullouts that you've seen outside of what I'm just mentioning right there?
Okay. I haven't really seen too many weird ones. Like, those, what I read were all the weird ones, but I had a weird one happen to me.
See, that's what I was saying. What is your experience of a weird pullout?
It was going to be my first ever AMI fight, and I'll never forget the date, June 1st, 2013. And it was against a guy named Devon Harrell, I think. Harold or something like that. And we're showing up, dude. Like, we're going to weigh-ins. And this is back when weigh-ins were day off, right? For AMIs, right? I was gonna fight at heavyweight because I was a fat butterball all my life, but I was making my way down though. I was probably like 215, and we agreed upon 210, 215, and on my way to weigh-ins, they call Ryan Kerwin. You remember Ryan Kerwin?
Yep.
He calls me and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna have to scrap this fight." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Your opponent failed the AIDS test." I was like, what the? Yeah, dude. Dude, I showed up for weigh-ins, and they were offering me a guy that was like 6'4", 265, another debut. I was like, what? I probably could have beat him, like, after watching him fight, but like, I was like, no. I was like, we'll just wait for the next one. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like afraid to even fight any of these guys at that point. I probably shouldn't have said he had AIDS, but I mean, I don't think I broke any HIPAA laws, but whatever.
Well, I mean, he came to a professional fight and he failed the test. So I think
And they found out the day of.
craziness, brother, craziness.
Right. I was scared. I was like,
And we're talking about the craziness that's going on in combat sports over the last year. We've already talked about Connor's retiring, but Dana wants him back. John's retiring, and he's trying to get him to fight Tom. But the weirdest thing that I've seen over the past few weeks is Justin Gaethje basically says Dana White owes him title fight. And Dana was like, if he's talking retirement, he should probably retire if that's the route he wants to go. Me and you have already talked about it. I kind of feel like that they need to keep as many stars and the drawing power as they can right now. Do you think Justin Gaethje honestly deserves a title fight? I mean, he is arguably one of the more exciting lightweight fighters that we have in the UFC, and he did take a fight short notice.
Did he win?
No, and that's the fight he lost.
Who did he fight?
It was Max.
I'm not big on title fights off losses.
But and I'm with you on that one. But he has done a lot for the company, and
But he took a short notice fight. Who's the champ?
But if you remember, that was for the BMF title.
Right. So he wants to fight Ilya.
That's he wants a.
Why not? That'd be a banger. Why not?
Right? Because
we
just seen what Ilya did to Brunson, right?
Yeah, but dude, Justin's got good calf kicks and he's got good uppercuts and hooks and stuff, dude. He's not a bad boxer, bro. So that would like obviously Arman is way better boxer, but I think he could do okay with the kicks and stuff. Like he might be able to shut him down with the kicks. I don't know. I would. I mean, I'm always like a guy that I don't really like to give predictions. I like to just look at it from but I like to look at it from both sides of it. Like I think it'd be a really good fight. I think definitely someone's going to get knocked out. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where
but
someone's going to be the hammer, someone's going to be the nail.
I would lean on more Ilya being a bigger favorite, but like
I mean, he's added himself to the name of list of double champs. Who's your favorite double champ of all time?
Well, there's only one that we could talk about, dude, and that's two. Sorry, I forgot about one. Well, Randy Couture would probably be number 2, and number 1 would be Daniel Cormier.
I don't see. I'm with you. No one gives Daniel enough credit. Everyone just refers to, he lost to John Jones, but that doesn't discredit him. He's an amazing human being. He gives back in the sport. He gives back to the youth in the sport. I mean, Daniel Cormier is one of the best double champs that we've ever had. I mean, you can make arguments for some of the other guys. Obviously, Henry Cejudo that definitely deserves some love, but he's not on Daniel's level, at least in my opinion.
Nah, Daniel's got to be. I mean, obviously Jones, but.
I won't because he never defended it.
Oh,
he beat Stipe, right? Oh no, wait, the Cyril Gage fight too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he did defend it. But like that's just my personal list. Like, I mean, obviously everybody's gonna put Jones above him, but like for me, it's always DC. I liked how DC would just like be in your face and like he was like a way better Chael Sonnen, like a way like just in your face. He could box, he could kick, he could wrestle, and he was very high IQ fighter, man. He was a very very high IQ fighter, and only 2 people ever really beat him: Jones and Stipe.
He mauled through a lot of guys. I mean,
I think if he was a little younger when he rematched Stipe those 2 fights, I don't think Stipe would have won.
I find that a believable statement right there.
Imagine like when Daniel first came to the UFC, or I mean, when he first was in Strikeforce, like when he knocked out Bigfoot Silva. You really think that Daniel Cormier wouldn't have mauled Stipe Miocic? Because he would have.
Nah, like dude, he was some of his slams were unbelievable. Like some of the fights that he won were just
So, mind you, when I was watching my first Daniel Cormier fight, probably like 2011, 2010, 2011. The first time I ever saw him fight was Bigfoot Silva, and that was in that Strikeforce Grand Prix, heavyweight Grand Prix. I remember thinking, I was talking to Kyle Dawkins about this. I remember thinking, leading up to that fight, I was like, dude, Bigfoot Silva's going to maul this guy.
I still think the other one was a surprise and was when he stopped Rumble.
Oh, yeah, when he beat Rumble.
And remember, that's when Anthony Johnson was terrifying mofos.
He was still terrifying after that fight.
I still can't believe he fought at 170 pounds, man.
Dude, he's dead and he's still scary.
You ain't lying, brother. I mean,
R.I.P.
Yes, sir. He's one of the OGs, man. I got to give.
He would be crazy in bare knuckle, dude. Could you imagine that dude in bare knuckle, dude?
I mean, for the sake of the other competitors, no. But I mean, if that was around while he was doing his thing, he probably would have ruled it with an iron fist.
Dude, if he was alive, he'd be in it right now. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I agree. And the crazy thing, he's the nicest, soft-spokenest dude you can meet.
Yeah, that's what I always heard about him. I heard he was always a nice guy.
I met him 3 different times. I met him after weigh-ins at UFC 101. Was super nice. He was with the Tap Out dudes.
Okay.
And I covered media for the Arlovsky fight for World Series of Fighting, and seen him a bunch of times for that too, and that was broke fucking Arlovsky's jaw. And Arlovsky, he couldn't stop him.
Yeah, dude, I forgot about that fight. That was a good fight.
I think that's one of the fights. The reason why like World Series of Fighting was as popular as it was for as long as it was just because they had those type of fights in the early stages, and just could
Where was that card at? Like Jersey?
It was Atlantic City.
I was supposed to fight on one of their cards against Adam Matea.
I know you're talking about.
As an amateur, it got offered to me, but my coach at the time didn't want me to do it, which was pretty stupid. But I should have done it. But I was wondering if it was that card.
I think isn't Adam Matea the one that Joey Pfeiffer destroyed?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's the weirdo guy. The guy he wears
I haven't heard from Adam since that fight.
I don't think anybody has. I think he's still laying in the octagon there. I think they left the cage up. I think he's still laying there.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those losses. It's hard to overcome something like that sometimes. Now I got last few ones before we get ready to wrap this up. Biggest announcement that came out was your boss is bringing all the champs in down to Hollywood to have some kind of champions summit.
There's a lot of champions.
One, what do you think is going to be announced there? Two, do you think there's going to be any type of squabbles going on? I know, Cowboy Dave Mandel's been trying to get his hand on Mike Perry for a better part of 2 years now.
No, they'll probably have some choice of words, but I'm kind of hoping I'm hoping it's two things. I'm hoping it's either. See, I don't want to say these things and then them see it and get mad at me, but whatever. I'm hoping it's either a new network, like a bigger network deal. No shot at DAZN. At BKFC, we love DAZN, but not a lot of people have DAZN. So DAZN to me is like for pure combat sports. You know what I mean? It's for the hardcore fans. As you know, I'm a big pro wrestling fan, so I grew up always hearing friggin' about TV ratings and like networks and stuff like that. I'm kind of hoping they go the route with something along the lines of like Max or Prime or whatever else is out there. I don't even know what else we got. Or
Yeah.
I could see them going with Paramount. I could see Paramount, dude.
I could see a streaming service. But let me pitch this to you for a second. ESPN ain't gonna have combat sports on it right now. They just took all UFC stuff on it. Wouldn't surprise me to see Dave and Connor and them kind of slip in there and just be like, hey, you know,
With Disney.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I mean, that would be pretty sick.
And I'm just saying that from the closeness because of BKFC's down there in Florida, obviously, you got Disney World down there.
I mean, I would love that. I mean, that would be cool. But that you got a good point with that.
I was just saying, like, listen, I agree that another streaming deal should be on the plate for BKFC, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them go bigger and to try to get on ESPN.
Well, I know they're growing like fast.
Yeah.
I
do. I agree that what Dave has done with BKFC over the last 2 years is unprecedented.
It's definitely the number 2 right now because since PFL decided to kill itself by buying Bellator for some weird reason, and hiring Francis Ngannou for an astronomical amount of money,
even not having fight.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. I don't know. They made Dana's year by doing that. Like Dana had a good laugh.
Dana's probably cracking up right now. Like, you guys are doing so bad. I'm gonna go promote some boxing and completely leave the UFC to their own devices for a few months.
Yeah, that's so stupid. But I think they're number 2 right now. So I could definitely see. I could see all those, dude. I could see ESPN. I could see. The only reason I'm saying Max is because I read a lot of the pro wrestling dirt sheets and AEW's on Max, and from what I was reading, Max is really looking to. They really want a lot of live sports, and that's what I read. They want more live sports, and they even if it's combat sports. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Max. I also wouldn't be surprised if it was DAZN. I know Amazon has One FC or One Championship or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's another company that can't figure out what they want to call themselves. But I could see. I really think the front runners are Max or Paramount Plus, but I could see ESPN just coming out of nowhere and saying, "Hey, we're doing this. We're going with BKFC." The second thing that I'm hoping that they're going to announce, healthcare for the fighters.
I don't blame you there, considering the conversations we were just having about Ben. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, well, it's Dave. I've had very little interactions with Dave. When he did the podcast, he said that it was true that I fought for him before, and stuff like that. But most of my dealings with the guy that owns Art of War now, Mike Bickings, and with Dave as a partner with them. So I always did my dealings with Mike, and I've had conversations with Dave, like very briefly, we're talking like 5 minutes. Even at my BKFC fight, it was like I talked to him very briefly. It was like a 5 minute conversation, not even. I thanked him for the opportunity. He said he was like, good luck, and like the gist of it was good luck and make the most of your opportunity. And I definitely did that. But I went viral calling out that Russian POS. But I really like BKFC, dude. I'm not just saying it because I fight for them. They treat me good, dude. Me and you had some off-camera conversations, as you said, about stuff. Dude, I'll talk about them on camera. I will make them because I know that
I got a message. I was posting this stuff. Someone was in my DMs. They've fought for multiple different promotions, and I was talking about Pearson, and he was like, "Oh, they're just paid to do that." I'm like, I just laughed at the comment. I was like, "Listen, they're not cutting checks for these guys or these girls to be giving them good publicity. I can guarantee you that. How most
That fighter said that
a
they
fighter
pay.
said that hasn't fought in for BKFC, but has fought in bare knuckle. Their latest fight was a boxing fight, not a bare knuckle fight. So I don't know if it was just the cross promotional thing or just mad that he hasn't fought for BKFC. I don't know why
Sounds like someone's a little jelly, a little peanut butter and jelly.
he
Sounds like
doesn't
someone's
seem
a
like
little.
the type, but like because he's just.
I'm telling you right now.
Generally,
I'll tell
how
you,
he feels, but I think he's wrong.
Steve. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you a little something that I didn't get a chance to tell you yet. Since I fought for BKFC, Chris Lytle has called me 3 times. He called me on the Monday after my fight. He called me in between to see how I've been. And then he called me just last week to see how the camp's going. He does a little bit of fighter relations now as well.
Yeah, I know that's between him and Kevin, right?
Yeah, Kevin Smith is I was actually texting him like a day ago or 2 days ago. He's on vacation for my fight. So,
well, I mean, dude, he just did all the BKFC ice stuff. You gotta expect him to take a breather somewhere.
I like that guy though, man.
Yeah, Kevin's awesome. I got no problems with Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's a good dude, man.
Even though me and him keep missing each other for us to kind of work on trying to get some of the athletes on my programming, but I listen. He's always at least responded to me like, "Hey, X is Y is going on, B's going on. We'll have to catch up here or there." So,
if you text him, dude, he always texts back. Like It's not like he's the easiest to get a hold of that big company, dude. They're hard to get a hold of, some of those dudes.
So how cool is that though? That Chris is checking up on you, reaching out to you,
dude. He's a big he. I like Chris, dude. Here's something. Here's another thing I'll tell you. So, you know how they do like the commentary interview?
Yeah.
So I watched Sean Wheelock commentate for Affliction for one of the Fedor fights I watched. I'm not sure if it was Arlovsky or Sylvia. And I'm an MMA nerd, dude. And
yeah, I know you are, brother.
so when I found out that Sean Wheelock commentated for BKFC, dude, if you could do this for me, by the way, clip this because I'll send it to him. He gave me his number after this interaction. After I found out that Sean Wheelock was commentating for BKFC, I literally was starting to fanboy out, dude. Because mind you, I didn't watch any BKFC. I didn't know that he commentated for them. I didn't know anything about them when I took the fight. And it wasn't that I didn't like it. It was just that I don't like boxing, and I just don't I'm not a big boxing fan, and I can't get into boxing. So I just I watched clips of it when it first came out, and it just didn't interest me. And I don't think he was commentating for BKFC during the first couple of shows. But anyway, as soon as I got to the back where they're like, "Hey, Lex, come on here," I was like, "Sean Wheelock, I remember you from Affliction when you commentated Fedor." And I was like, I just don't remember if it was Fedor Sylvia or Fedor Arlovsky. And he goes like this, he's sitting up and he goes, Lex, I have met thousands of fighters. He goes, I have never had a fighter bring that up to me. Know me because of the Affliction thing. He was like, that's really impressive. And then I started shooting it with him. And then I looked at Chris Lytle and I was like, and you mother effer. I was like, when I was 14 years old, I bet against I was like, you lost me money. That's what I said. When I was 14 years old, you lost me money. And he goes like this. He goes, you win some, you lose some. And I was like, no. I was actually, you freaking won. I was like, I bet against you. And he was like, oh, what the heck, dude? Why would you do that? It wasn't like I bet on him as an adult. You know what I mean? It was funny. I was 14 years old. I was using my dad's buddy's account. He was letting me use his account. And I had $27. And Matt Serra was the underdog. It was the rematch. And I bet on Matt Serra to win. And Chris Lytle thought it was the funniest thing in the world, dude. He was dying. And they both liked me a lot. And we all exchanged numbers after we left. And I really believe – and you know what, dude? Like Chris said to me on that phone call, he told me, he said straight up that he said that they all like me. Like Dave likes me. I know that Nate Shook likes me because Nate Shook's the one that
obviously Nate's the one that put your name in the mix.
yeah, like Nate. After the fight got booked, I shot him because I didn't talk to him during the negotiations because my manager. I was trying to be professional. I was trying to keep out of it. So, but as soon as the fight got booked, I said, thank you for the opportunity, Nate. I was like, I'll put on one hell of a fight for you, buddy. Yeah, dude. Like they're a good company, dude. Like believe it or not, like they're checking in on you when you're there. They're always asking if you need anything. When the only time, like I didn't have I'm not saying I had a bad interaction, but the only time they're just not checking on you is when the show's going on because they're running around like freaking chickens with their heads cut off. But right after the show, dude, like they're like I was hanging out after the show. Nate Shook walked up and talked to me. I didn't get a chance to talk to Dave. That was the only person. But from what it sounds like, they really like me and they really want me to be a part of whatever's about to happen. Something's about to happen, and I don't know what's about to happen. But I was basically asked to be a part of the BKFC family in that phone call, and so I'm expecting to be a part of it after this fight. So. What was your next question? I'm sorry, brother. I got really off topic.
Listen, I love hearing your stories, brother. So I'll let you ramble along with it. The other one was I don't know if you've seen this, but apparently I hear Christina Fieri is going to be going up in weight. She's going to be fighting Jessica Borga.
I don't even know who these guys are. I don't even know who they are.
Well, Christina is the bantamweight champion now for women's, right?
We don't care about that, dude. There's women.
I do, motherfucker.
I'm just joking. All right, so she wants to go up.
Apparently, I've seen. Jess has shared some messages between her and Christina's manager, Jules.
You never break kayfabe, Christina. You broke kayfabe. Not you, Steven. Christina did. As she revealed the messages, she broke kayfabe, and I lost all respect for you.
Well, no, that would be Jessica.
Jessica, you broke kayfabe. I respect Christina, not you. I hope you lose your belt.
I'm the other way. I got no skin in the game with Christina. She got she blackballed me because I interviewed
Jesus! Now I got to go against her.
She basically like I used to interview her when she used to do Lions Fight all the time. So I used to interview her all the time. Apparently, after she came to BKFC and won her titles and all that, I was trying to reach out to her, but I had interviewed Helen Peralta, who beat Christina. So it was basically I was told to go interview Helen and try to talk it out with her manager. I said it was going to be organized, and nothing ever came of it. But no love lost, Wish her all the best, but hopefully.
No, we don't. What weight class is she?
Listen, man, like sometimes like we talk about, people deal with things how they deal with them.
I'm just trolling, dude. I'm just trolling.
She doesn't want to talk to me. It's all right. I ain't mad at her.
I'm just trolling, dude. I don't even know these girls. I hope they both have a good fight.
Well, I know you know who these two are because this announcement just came out today. Is Shimanov and DDP, man.
Yeah, the greatest fighter.
Chicago. How are you feeling about this fight, man?
Well, like what we said off camera, we both don't understand why the two international guys are fighting in Chicago. But, why they're fighting in Chicago is there's no American champions. That's why. For the first time since 2004, there is no UFC American champion at all. Well, I meant for the men.
I got you. Brother.
Kayla Harrison, good call though. Chimaev is the greatest fighter for like one round. He's like the greatest fighter ever to live for one round. and then he starts to get more human and human and human. So if DDP can last those 2 rounds, I think it'll be his fight. But that's a tough 2 rounds, dude. It's a friggin' tough 2 rounds. Dude.
Off his grappling is BJ Penn-esque. How I would say his grappling is.
Kamzat, I call him Goatzat. Me and my friends call him Goatzat because he's so good. But I'm not really a big DDP fan.
I just hope he doesn't have any more problems making weight.
He just kisses his coach, so it's a little weird. Yeah. Kind of throws me off a little. Even if I had him, I wouldn't even want to fight him. He might kiss me. What do you think? Let me ask you this: What do you think about this guy I'm fighting?
I was literally that's where I was going next. Your fight against Mr. Lewis Rumsey.
Because you're an OG, he's an OG, I'm an OG.
Yeah. I was about to say he goes back to the early local MMA days in the tri-state area. So you're more than somewhat familiar with this guy. Have you not seen him fight multiple times?
Oh my God! First time I ever watched him fight was CFFC 47, 2015, I think that was against Zuna, and I knew that I could beat him then. And so I got offered 3 fights ever for BKFC. 2 accepted me. 1 guy turned me down.
Wait. Who turned it down? I got to know.
Brock Walker.
Who?
Exactly. Brock Walker.
Okay.
Yeah. He Mr. Brock Walker accepted the fight, and then like 3 days later called management and said he wants to move down a weight class, aka he's scared. But I did say to my manager, I was like, we can follow him. I was like, I can fight at 205. I was like, I don't really want to fight at heavyweight. I was like, but they want me at heavy. The plan for this is 2 heavyweight fights and then 205. But
so you're not going to stay at heavyweight moving forward?
No, but I am running into it's live. I'll tell you off camera, but because I don't want Mr. Rumsey to see this part. But
that's fine.
I got something. I got a little surprise for you, Mr. Rumsey. But you're gonna be a little shocked when you see me. But anyway, I've been wanting to fight this guy for a long time, dude. And you know what? Ever since I took the fight, dude, I just been, man, I remember the last time when we said that, like, I don't really think about the fights and stuff. Now, like before the fight, like I kind of stopped thinking about it. I live my day to day, dude. I've just been thinking about this dude every day, all day long. And like, there's a lot of benefits that come to fighting with this guy because let's be honest, he knows the career ain't going too well. He's 35 years old. It's coming to an end. I took 6 years off. I took off when I was 20, from when I was 25 to when I was 29. I got another like 8 years left in me. You know what I mean? I'm just getting started. Even though I'm 31, but I am just getting started. Because I feel like that time off really helped me out. But with Mr. Rumsey, I respect him a lot. But as I said before about Connor McKenna, my goal every fight is to make sure they never fight again. And McKenna will probably fight again, but that was a real eye-opening fight for him because he even said he was telling me in the back, oh man, you have no idea how he saw our interview, bro. He saw our interview, and he said he was like, you have no idea how much you motivated me to and I was just sitting there and I was like, you have no idea how hard I'm gonna hit you in the face tomorrow. Like, dude,
so is that what he's saying you at weigh-ins?
He wasn't saying that. He was saying that to me right before we walked out for the weigh-ins. Dude, that's the one thing I don't like that they do. Like for the weigh-ins, like they make us stand shoulder to shoulder. Like me and him were like literally right next to each other. And
I think they should do the opposite side thing, like kind of like what UFC does, right?
Yeah, but they didn't do that. They we're just literally just It's not like I'm afraid of the guy or anything like that. It's just
Yeah,
that
I know.
it's awkward.
That could cause problems later on down the road. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So it might just because of the venue. I'm not sure,
Yeah, because
but
Infinity, it's not easy to kind of go each way.
so he was just saying to me like I didn't like I didn't. That's a whole podcast by itself, dude. What his whole that guy has a nutball, dude. I actually am pretty cool with that guy now, but like he added me on Facebook or whatever, but and we DM'd a little bit. I call him the Crimson Chin because I've never hit anybody that hard in my life and then laugh at me. Like, dude, I was cracking him, dude. I cracked him. Like, and I was getting tired from. I was sick, but I got tired from hitting him so hard. Anyway, but with Lewis, I really do feel like this is his last fight, dude, because I only get better every fight, and I feel like what I do that a lot of fighters don't do probably is that like I watch that fight 10,000 times. I watched my own fight 10,000 times, and I said to myself, how would I beat myself? Like if I were to fight myself, I game plan for myself, and like I study myself, and obviously I'm not going to give away like how I would beat myself, but I know the answers to it without watching it, but then like watching it, I get to learn it from like a different aspect, like if like as if like I was studying myself. So, but today, what's today? Sunday. So today is the last day that I watch Lewis's fights. I'm not gonna watch him again until I'm stepping there with him, but I'm prepared, brother, and I really feel like Lewis is on his way out, and I feel like this is Lewis's retirement fight because I am going to test that chin, brother. And unlike most fighters that Lewis fought, I'm not afraid to get hit. And I know Lewis is 2-4 in BKFC. I know that's not a great record for him, but he's an OG in MMA and he's well respected. And but yeah, his chin is definitely going to get checked in this fight, dude, for sure. And I think
this time, I know you went to decision. You want to, you don't want to. Are you going to make sure it doesn't get put in the judge's hands?
We're putting a statement on this one, brother. Like, listen, I just want to say it so bad, but I got a lot of surprises for this guy.
Don't give it up because, like you said, as much as people don't, they watch your interviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not just I know he's watching my stuff. His coach added me on Facebook. All these dudes, listen, not Lewis, not a crack at Lewis. I really do respect Lewis. I'm not talking trash, all right?
Yeah, it's just I know. Like I'm not sitting there saying like you're gonna completely like wipe the floor with him. You're gonna have like a highlight. I'm just sitting there saying like, listen,
no. I am
see what it's like now.
No, I am saying that. Like I am saying that. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I am gonna walk in there and I am gonna wipe the floor with him. Listen, he's gonna land punches. Like it's a fight that's gonna happen. But it just like all my fights, brother. All my fights. Okay, whatever. I lost 3 fights early in my career, but besides those 3 fights, all of my wins are dominant. And even in my BKFC fight, I don't care what that judge said. That was a dominant freaking win, dude. I got hit 1 time per round. I landed 70% of my strikes. 70% of my strikes landed. Okay? That's something that he's got to think about because I don't just throw to throw. I throw to land and I throw to hurt. And like everybody's like, oh yeah, like these people they're afraid to break their hands and stuff like that. Well, let's find out, dude. Like I'm gonna check his chin. He's gonna try to check mine. I don't think he's gonna be able to hit me clean because it's very hard to hit me, dude. I train with some high level dudes, and I don't know where the heck he trains at. He trains at like Williamsport Self Defense School or whatever. I don't even know they know who they are. But that annoyed me that the coach added me because that makes me think they're insecure. Because I don't even look this dude up. I don't even know what this guy's Instagram is. I don't even know. Like I look up your fights on YouTube, but like I don't really care about you. You are not existent. Like you're just an entity in front of me, and he'll see, dude. He's gonna see when he sees me in person. He's gonna be like, okay, like this is a lot different than I thought it would be.
So after this, the plan is 205 moving forward.
Well, we'll find out if that Russian POS is a little too afraid or not. You know what I mean? I got plans, brother. I got plans for him. And I got plans for a for someone else that's on currently on the BKFC roster. Me and him. I was writing to him, and he was liking the comments. You know, he's pretty famous in the BKFC world, but you know, he was liking the comments. So I think that fight's pretty inevitable to happen. You know, especially with the Wells Fargo card coming up.
So they are coming back. I know you guys are doing another fight night at 2300, but I would assume at some point in time in the next 3 or 4 months, the next venue will be back at Wells Fargo.
I mean, I don't know exactly when it is, but I mean, yeah, like I know that they're gonna eventually come back.
Love it, brother. Love it.
And it'll be the Xfinity Live mobile arena.
Yes, because it will no longer it's no longer Wells Fargo Center.
But yeah, but Lewis Rumsey won't make it to that card. But I will. But listen, like I'm not talking trash. It's just this isn't like me coming at his character or me coming at his family or anything like that. The dude is a father. I'm a father. I respect the guy tremendously. He's a vet. I've been watching him for 10 years. This is just me. Like, it's like bro trash talk. It's like locker room trash talk, like Xbox game trash talk. That's all it is. Like if I'm not confident in this fight, then I shouldn't be fighting you. Like that's how I look at it. You know, I took this fight for a reason because I think I can beat you, and we're gonna find out for sure because this guy's fought a lot of good dudes, but he hasn't fought Lex Ludlow. How about that?
It's gonna be a good one, man. I know I think it's a fun matchup for you. I think it's a good matchup for you.
I think it's the people's main event. I think it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, you got the cannoli slap king's gonna be on the card. Patty Sullivan's gonna be on the card.
I'm just waiting for you to name somebody that would wake me up.
Well, they haven't announced too much else. You know, obviously Alexia Sakara is going to be on it.
Oh, we're up.
And, Elijah Harris is going to be
my
back.
Boy, the Buffalo Soldier, dude.
Yeah.
I said that to him at the weigh-ins. I was like, dude, I'm a huge fan. He couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm a big Buffalo Soldier fan, dude.
Another one of our local scene, you know, combat sports guys. So yeah, definitely excited to see Elijah back in there. So
boy, the hippie disciple, the dude that got the fastest BKFC knockout that night when I fought.
Yeah, Devin. Yeah.
Him. Yeah. He just dude. The guy he's fighting.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about because I just added him because I wanted to see if I can get him on here and have some fun with him on here.
What D'Annunzio?
Yeah, his opponent. Yeah.
Yeah, you should clip what I'm about to say and show it to him. I used to train with D'Annunzio at Revolution. I DM'd D'Annunzio, and I said, dude, what the hell were you thinking taking this fight? This is a bad matchup, dude. Like, I don't want to discredit the guy. I actually like D'Annunzio a lot. I think he's a good human being, but this is a bad matchup, brother. That's all I gotta say about it.
Styles makes fights. We'll see how it all shakes out in the BKFC ring, right?
Yeah, dude. I wish both the best. I really like the hippie disciple a lot. I always liked D'Annunzio. He's always a good dude. He's got a great heart. He's a great human being. I used to train with him, but man, that's a tough fight, dude. Like, god darn. I said, dude, you're not even a professional fighter. Like, what are you like? This is your pro debut. Like, what are we doing? And
everyone wants to throw their hat into it now. Like we talked about, it's It is the second biggest combat sports promotion in the world right
No,
now.
no, no. I'm not coming at him for fighting.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Everyone wants to see if they got the medal, dude.
But listen, I hope he proves me wrong, and I really seriously mean that. He could have went to Florida and became a way better fighter from when he trained with me. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be he's the fight right before me, so I'm not gonna be able to watch it. So, but I wish him luck, dude.
As I always say, best of skill, guys. Best of skill.
That's a good one. Best of skill. Someone else says that too to me, and I
listen, because in reality, is it luck? You guys train all this time, man. Is it real? Like I have a problem with saying the best of luck to a professional athlete because is it really luck? You guys put in all this hour, sacrifice time away from your family, sacrifice, hanging out with your friends, goofing off, doing that, sacrificing time with your kids specifically. Like you guys sacrifice a lot, so I wouldn't say luck to anyone. It's not luck, when we're in combat. Like, yeah, everyone, that's a lucky punch. That was a lucky strike. No, I don't. I can't say it's luck. I think that's a disrespect for any man or woman who steps into the ring, to the cage, whatever, to sit there and say best of luck because it's not luck. You guys sacrifice a lot.
That's a good outlook on it. So let's go back to my question. What do you think about me versus Lewis Rumsey?
Listen, I think you'd already kind of said it, brother. Like, no disrespect to Lewis, he's
now. Don't be saying this just because I'm on here. Give me the real.
You know how I am. Like, listen, I got made love for you. I thought it was I think this is one of those ones that's right up your alley. I don't know, like you sitting there saying the last matchup was bad. I think this is a bad matchup for Lewis. Nothing scares you. You have no fear to sit there and trade punches with anybody. Life has already beaten you down, so that there's nothing there. There's nothing that he's going to do that's going to scare you. That makes you a dangerous fight for. It doesn't matter if it's Lewis or whatever. Now, granted, that you're going in there against like a Ben Rothwell. Obviously, you got something to be scared about because that's a big, hairy, scary man.
That'd be two big, hairy dudes, man. But I mean, he's a lot larger of a dude.
It'd be the battle of who had the most body hair in that fight.
Yeah, I would have to give it to him. Remember when he called out Arlovsky? He's like, "Let's do it."
Yeah, man, he's a character.
He's a character. I'd like to meet him.
My kids met him at Knucklemania.
Get him on the show.
I tried to. His management don't like me because of the dude we were talking about earlier.
Bickings?
No. The guy with the ankle monitor.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So before his debut, I reached out to him to have him on the on the podcast, right? He's like, yeah, love to do it. Then like an hour later, I get a call. It's $75 for an interview. I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, best of skill, brother. I'm not paying you for an interview. That's not how this works. So I wound up reaching out this when I was still cool with Bob Maloney. And I was like, yo, have you ever paid like an athlete for an interview?
Hold on a second. What happened with you and Bob?
Oh, well, because I said something about the Sean Santella thing. He was laughing at Justin, sitting there making lies about why my kids left Daniel Gracie.
Justin who?
Haskell. Apparently I wore Crocs. I'm like, I never wore Crocs in my life, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?
Why would it even matter?
But I'm a fake media guy. I'm a fake podcaster. All this. I'm like, how's it fake? What is what I do fake?
People only hate you when you're not a part of the team, brother.
Oh yeah, exactly. So like, basically accused me of attacking a kid at the gym. So what I reached out to another, parent who was there when I was there. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is Justin talking about? Like, I'm not asking you to get involved. I'm like, am I forgetting something? Because I'm one of them dads. If something crazy happened, I'd jumped on the mat, break it up, whatever. And there was a kid there that during that time sent a couple kids out of the gym because he broke bones.
Oh wow.
He was holding on to submissions too long.
Okay.
So, like, I do remember like jumping on the mat for something like that. So he was like, I don't know what he's talking about. So basically, it was just like saving face because my daughter was roasting both Mike and Debbie.
Why? What happened there?
Dude, they were like basically like there was some stuff that, like I said, I already told you, like stuff went on with me, Mike, and Deb because I was the CFFC guy.
I do remember that. Yeah.
So after he was sitting there saying I'm the CFFC, I'm like, listen, I'll give you like my next 3 podcasts. So I interviewed just like half the card for the Art of War card that it was it was Martinez and
Sharif.
yes. So when I got there to do media, there was no media for me. He told me to go stand in the back. I'm like, how am I supposed to cover an event where I can't see the fucking cage?
Right.
So you remember what happened that night, right? When Sharif
the big
walked
fight,
out.
the big fight came out.
So my kids almost get fucking trampled.
Okay.
So we wound up leaving, right? When I halfway home, because there was no fucking internet service in the fucking arena. Right. I finally got a message telling me to bring my kids up. I still to this day haven't responded to the message, just because you were sitting there crying that I wasn't giving you media. I show up at open workout, no one's there but me and Bob. So if you go back and watch the open workout for that event, go look and see who was emceeing it. It was my fucking daughter. Okay. So you use her as a media piece and propped her out, but it wasn't good enough to give me media credentials when it came down time for the fight.
And was this your last interaction with them?
Yeah, I literally the last interaction I had was basically when he stopped Sean Santella for fighting for BKFC, claiming they had a contract, and I basically said I'm not surprised. That's how Mike does business. And then I was being attacked by Justin, Bob, Mike, and Deb.
I'm cool. I'm really close with Deb. I like Deb a lot. Listen, well, I'm not.
She's trying to protect the hard work that she puts in. I at the end of the day, I don't hate them for it. But when you're making up stuff to sit there and try to paint yourself in a way, like I said, I have a problem with these things. Be real about it. Listen, if I did something wrong, I'll be the first one like, you know what? I handled that wrong. I did this wrong.
Right.
But I'm not going to sit there and try to make like something didn't happen.
I've known you long enough now to know that.
Listen, dude, like, listen, if I handle it, because I don't handle everything the right way. Dead honest. Like, you could say, like, Steve, you were being a fucking dickhead about that. I might have been. But you probably did something to make me act like a fucking dickhead.
Right.
So it's like when you do things in that way, like, I'm not going to show you love. When you sit there and do something like that to Sean, I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat it. Like, yo, you shouldn't be doing that. Knowing how many fights does Sean have left in his career? Maybe a handful if he's lucky.
Right.
Sit there and take an opportunity like that away from Sean Santella is a dishonor to him as a fighter, to you as a promoter, to what combat sports is really about. You can get mad at that all you want. Dude.
That was like a big deal. I remember that was like a big deal.
Yeah, so like I said something about it. Like, I don't act like I have the biggest podcast in the world. I'm not a fucking Joe Rogan. Listen, but people tune in and listen to me, and they give a fuck what I gotta say.
Right.
So don't get mad at me for speaking the truth. If you don't want me to speak the truth, then make sure I don't have nothing to speak on.
So, did you guys resolve it or no?
No, it still hasn't been resolved. You know what will resolve it? A public apology to my daughter. I'll stop saying a single word to her. I don't want you to. I'm not going to ask you for credentials. I'm not going to go cover your events anymore. You made it very well and clear. I'm not worth your time. I'm not going to waste my time, energy, gas, or anything in between to go cover your event. Will I give the athletes who are fighting on? Yeah, I've had Art of War guys on there. But, I mean, obviously, he talks to people because people don't talk to me no more. I tried to talk to Turnbull a bunch of times. I don't hear nothing from him.
Oh yeah.
Is it? Could it be coincidence? Maybe, I don't know.
Could just be coincidence. But Turnbull's he's a good guy. I think he
He's
just
a good dude. I mean, I've seen him, over at
Martinez.
at NPR, whatever you want to call that. Says hi,
MPI.
just keeps on moving. We don't.
What you go to the MPI?
Dialogue like the way we used to.
What you go to the MPI?
I went there a couple times, for the grand opening and stuff like that. Try to take the kids up there for the seminars and stuff like that. But
Trader.
I love you too, brother.
You're a traitor. Nah, I'm just joking, dude. I don't wish any of those people ill will.
No, I know, brother.
Except one. There's one I do, and she knows who it is.
and like, I'm not trying to turn this into like a whole thing. It's in the past. It happened, but like when you show patterns and it affects an athlete that I care about, I'm gonna fucking say something.
Right. No, I understand that, brother. Listen, just because I'm cool with him doesn't mean I can't be cool with you. That's how I live my life.
Yeah, I know, and that's the way I like. Listen, and I don't expect anyone to sit there and go and confront him or not support him or anything like that. Like, that's, me. I'm not that type of person. Who you want to show love to is who you want to show love to. I'm not going to tell anyone to stop doing X, Y, anything for anybody. We're our own people. We think we have our own thoughts. We do our own actions. I'm not going to tell anyone to do that. And that was not the goal of sitting there and bringing this up on air. I was hoping it was something that I would have never had brought it up in the air, but you asked me, and I'm not going to not tell you. I'm not. I'm not going to bring that up. No, because you know what? Sometimes people need to be held accountable.
He's always been good to me, and I've always been good with him. But there's obviously like things that bothered me that happened. But but I will say this, dude. Like, when I told you about when I took the BKFC fight, but he's been really he just doesn't like them. He don't like them. He don't like BKFC. He don't like.
He just doesn't like Dave. Let's be honest. Yeah. He just doesn't like Dave.
Yeah, but you know what, dude?
You gotta get past that. Jealousy isn't a color everyone wears well.
Well, I personally don't take it like that, but anytime he talks to me about it, I kind of because I've known him for a very long time. I've known him for 10 years. So whenever he brings it up to me, I kind of just let him.
You let it roll off you like oil, brother.
Yeah, I either let it roll off of me, or I just
change the subject,
or I try to be a good friend and I just listen. You know what I mean? Like, let them vent it out. And
sometimes that's all we really do need is just let us talk about the poison that's in us and get it out of us.
Yeah, and
you have to let it go, man. You have to let it go. Like, I don't wish his family any ill will, dude. It is what it is.
I want to fight. I want to fight for him again one day. Just because he's local and stuff like that. But we're talking a long time down the road. I mean, I'm right now. I'm all about BKFC right now.
And I don't blame you, dude. Like, listen, show love to the people who showed you love. But you know what I mean. This opportunity in front of you that doesn't happen for everybody. Not everyone's meant to be a BKFC fighter. And the fact that Dave's in a way reclaiming his home. I'm all for it. I'm happy for Dave that he's able to have these big events in Philadelphia. So it's not one of the things I'm ever gonna sit there and wish anyone. Like, I don't have media credentials for BKFC. I'm sure if now that I'm with a media company, I feel that deserves to have that. I will try to fill out for it, but it's not one I'm going to whatever. I was lucky that I got media credentials for Knucklemania because Susan Sagari got sick. And she's like, hey, yo, you're from Philly, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, can you help my guy? I was basically just ushering people around, like, hey, like, look, we're doing interviews back here. Here's our guys. Da, 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 da. Like,
that's cool.
So, I mean, I already told you, Pat hooked up my kids with tickets because kept missing each other trying to get him, and he was like, "I got you. Don't even worry about it."
That's great. Yeah.
So like that. Listen, Pat's I always have massive respect for him. Where he's going, what he's been through, what beat beating the guy he beat that night, and the way he beat him is definitely not something to shy away from. So he's always got massive respect for me. So you
We're
take
fighting.
you take your situations and your opportunities when they come to you. I kind of felt bad that I asked for 3 tickets and I wound up having to cover, and I couldn't even sit there and enjoy the fights with my kids.
Right. We're
So
fighting. He fought Lewis.
I'm
Pat
sure
did. Pat fought Lewis.
I'm sure he
Yeah.
did.
Pat was. Never mind. I can't even say all that. But he's a nut, dude. He's a crazy. But the one thing I will say about Art of War, which I have no shame of saying, is that I didn't want to be somewhere where I wasn't welcome.
Like I said, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother episode, as we're down to our last 4 minutes before we get cut off here.
That's fine, dude. But that's all I wanted to say about it. I don't.
I know you wanted to get listen, man. I don't blame you.
I don't want to be somewhere, and I told Mike that. Don't want to be somewhere where I'm not welcome, dude. And he told me I was welcome.
I don't feel like if I'm not feeling the love that you want me there, I won't be there, dude. You don't gotta worry about that.
Yeah, he told me I am welcome, but I said, just doesn't feel like that, brother.
Yeah.
From some other people.
From the conversations that we've had off air, stuff that you told me, that's not somebody that's shown love, brother.
Nah, dude. And listen, you
got to stop doing that.
Well, I tried everything I could to mend that, and it's just not mendable. So, I gave up on it. And when they reached out to me and told me they wanted me to fight for BKFC, I kind of took that ball and ran with it. When I was fighting in West Virginia, I think they were expecting me to come back and fight for them, and I kind of was expecting that too. But fortunately enough for me, I fought for BKFC. But like, back to Mike and Deb, I really do like them both a lot. They've done a lot for me, and in the future, I would like to fight for them again. Just right now, it just doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense under those circumstances.
Yeah, it doesn't. But last 3 minutes or so before we shut this down, anything you want to give your parting shot here, so to speak, to wrap this one up, Lex?
2-hour podcast. We killed it this time, dude. The Forge MMA, Chris and Kyle Dawkins' brand new gym. Come check it out, right off of Academy in Byberry. Don't know the exact address, but come check it out. It's a great gym, very detailed gym, very high level training. 2 former number 7 heavyweight in the world, and then you got Kyle Dawkins, the number probably the top dog outside the UFC in the world right now. And then you got me.
He needs to be back, one of the best middleweights in the world, without a doubt.
100%, and I think he'll be back soon. I know he's fighting August 30th for CFFC. And I think that's going to be the fight to put him right back in the map and put him right back into the.
I honestly hope Kyle gets his way back there just so he can get on that White House card. There we go. There's our prediction for the White House card. We didn't actually get one because we were just running through some of that. But I would love to see him have the opportunity to represent his country on the 4th of July.
Yeah, and he's got to fight an Englishman like Darren Stewart.
Yes, love that one. But another fun one in the books. Like Lex said, 2 hours here on the podcast. It's always fun here on the South Florida Tribune Media Network, and the real and the rare always delivers, and we keep it real over here. If you listen to the 2 hours that me and Lex went through, all kinds of stuff, current topics. We went through stuff that probably we should have had privately between ourselves, but that's just why I love this love this man right here and wish him all the best. Man, make your statement, brother, and do what you think you're gonna do to do this guy come the 25th of July, man.
20 seconds. I just feel like it's manifesting, and I feel like I've been saying it out loud a lot and thinking it out loud a lot. So I really feel like the way that I see him going down is the way it's going to happen.
All right. Well, that should be the end of this one. We'll catch you guys next time, guys. Peace out.